Hello, everyone. This is Kristen Brindley. I'm here with Dustin Fox. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Dustin Fox, the Fox Homes team, you and Devin have really taken us to a whole nother level. You had 8 team members, and now 37 team members in a year's time frame, I believe. Is that?
Yeah, 15 months. We started with 8. We interviewed 54 to hire the original 8, and then it's kind of like just like helping a client. You just do what you promise the agents, and word gets around, and they invite their friends and the agents that they've done deals with, and we've just kind of grown organically without any type of recruiting or anything. So that's the question we always get, is like, how have you grown your team so fast? And it's completely just been on what you just described, just kind of having abundance mindset and doing free training for the brokerage and what we do. And they feel like, hey, we're very open and sharing, and those years of doing that like paid off when we finally decided to start a team.
So what are you focused on this year?
This year, I would like to get the 37 agents we have now, because it's a strong mix of like probably 8 to 10 experienced agents and the rest a lot newer, and really getting the newer agents fully trained. It's a whole process of getting them up to speed. Like, kind of my stretch goal is to be at 50 agents by the end of the year, and then ideally 75 or 100 by the end of 2023. I don't really focus on volume as much with them in terms of volume goals. We have a motto with the team in terms of just focusing on the work that's currently on your desk, just doing a good job with the client in front of you, providing as much value as you can. And all those numbers and stuff will come later.
You could do anything. Why real estate? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I wish I could say that I got into it because like it was a calling for me, or I just love to show houses, or like I love my job because Devin and I are really good at it. But I think there's a book called So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport, and he talks about the misperception of, like, because people sometimes are like, I haven't found my passion, I'm thinking about getting into real estate. And I think passion comes when you've acquired the skills, and once you've acquired the skills and knowing your business from A to Z, then you suddenly start becoming passionate about it, because you're like, hey, I'm really good at this. And that's how it is. Like, I want to be doing this all the time because I have the autonomy, and we're good at it.
What's been your biggest challenge as a realtor, and then maybe as a leader?
I think sometimes, like, you give some agents the same opportunities and you see some of them struggling, and it like kind of hurts your heart because you want everybody to do well. But sometimes as a leader, if you're giving them the same opportunities and the same training, sometimes you just kind of have to like throw them in the deep end and see if they can swim. And that's hard, as like both as a parent and as a team lead. And you feel like all of these team members are, like kind of like your children, that you want to see them be as successful as you can. And that's probably like my biggest challenge, and what keeps me up at night, is just trying to make all of them successful. There's kind of an 80-20 rule on every team in real estate. And just like any other business where you have 20% of the agents doing 80% of the business, but I'm trying to like get that number higher, for the betterment of the team.
What's most rewarding for you in your business?
The most rewarding thing for me has been the excitement of, like, if I go do, we really believe in like being in the boat and paddling it every day. So we have a team philosophy of like, you're there, we're here. So I have no interest in ever being just like a figurehead team lead. You'll see me doing open houses every weekend with the agents, listing presentations with them. But the biggest thrill for me is if I do like 2 listing presentations with them, and like to get them fully coached up, and then they go do their first one without me, and they call me as soon as they leave, and they're like, Dustin, I effing won. Like I did everything. I was like a mini Dustin and I won. And they're just so excited that they did it on their own. That's better for me than anything else. Like, just hearing their excitement. And the same goes with like showing buyers and getting buyers under contract. Like, their success means more to me, like each of them individually, than anything that we've ever done.
What do you think makes you and Devin different?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what makes us different, is because Devin and I for a husband and wife team, they don't normally have a big team together. It's typically just themselves and maybe a couple agents. And I'm very blessed that Devin is the exact polar opposite of me, where I am like completely unorganized, run by the seat of my pants, like just go, 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 go. She is very operations driven, and not to say she's still a great salesman and she still crushes it on appointments, but the agents will come to her, like it's kind of known in between the team. They'll go to her that they're like, oh, Devin's going to be nicer about this question. She's just kind of has like a, I hate to say this, like a warm motherly vibe. So they're like, everybody's, whenever they're done with a phone call with Devin, they're like, she's so chill and relaxed no matter what I'm telling her. Whereas me, I get 20,000 steps a day just pacing on the phone. So we have very different personalities, and I think that's been the biggest success for us as a team. And whenever team leads ask us like, hey, we're starting a team, I'm like, try to start a business with somebody that has an opposite skill set with you, and make sure you're starting it with the right person, because you've got to think about what's possible for your business 5 to 10 years from now, and if I'm really starting it with the right person.
What are dreams and goals for you all?
I would like to be probably at 150 agents within the next 5 years and be the #1 team in Northern Virginia or DC metro area in the next 3 to 5 years is our goal. So that's kind of like our short-term goal. Long-term is to just have, all of those agents be happy and be proud to be on our team.
What does success mean to you and Devin? Like, define success.
I mean, success for me is completely dependent upon how many people that work with us that are our agent partners that we're able to make successful.
What are a couple of great books you'd recommend for someone starting out in real estate, and maybe just for like life? Because I know you read maybe more than I do, which you read.
So I would say, like, if you're a newer agent, I would say like go on Amazon and get every real estate book you can get. I tell my agents this all the time. Like, we live in a time right now between like your podcast and other real estate podcasts, all of the books that are available on Amazon with a touch of a button. Like, the good news is everything that you would need to know about the business is available to you. The bad news is there's no excuse for not being able to learn it. So like we always say, there's no problem you can't solve if you know your business from A to Z. And for me, like when I got my license, I just read everything real estate. And then after I read that, I was like, okay, all these books are the same. But my biggest thing is business biographies. I have a goal of reading 52 a year. Last year, I think I read like only 36. This year, I'm probably on pace to do 48. And I have a routine in the morning. I read my book, and at night I read my book. I like to do kind of obsessive compulsive deep dives. I'm currently finishing like a set of 4 different biographies on John D. Rockefeller. My favorite book of all time is this one right here, The Fish That Ate the Whale. And it sounds strange because it's a book about Sam Zamuri, but it has so many parallels. Even though it's about United Fruit and the banana business and how that got started, there's so many parallels to any business that you're in terms of, he started with like selling ripes off the dock, like the low hanging fruit that nobody else wanted to sell. In our business, it's like helping a rental client, that everybody else is passing around, but he saw the opportunity in that and kind of slowly built himself up. And that's been the most impactful biography that I've ever read.
Tell us a little about your family. Like, I know, you have beautiful kids, and tell us about your
so we have Devin and I are high school sweethearts. She was 18, I was 21 when we had our first child. We have 3 daughters, 22, 17, and 13. And, if you were to ask me like what my hobbies and stuff are, it's basically only real estate. But then like obviously having 3 daughters, I'm interested in what they're interested in. So like when I grew up, I never would have been into musicals or going to Broadway shows, but that's what I do now because our oldest was a theater kid, and our youngest is super into dance, so we watch her dance competitions. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to New York to see Harry Styles for the second time. I just try to do things with them that they're interested in, so we can have some common interest.
That's super cool. I know a couple other people have taken their kids to the Harry Styles, like it's tour going on right now.
Yeah.
So what else would you like to share with our real producers like community? Is there anything that you could say if someone was looking to start a team? You just did that like and just exploded. What advice could you give if someone was looking to start a team?
I mean, I meet with so many team leads, and I'm always really surprised on like whenever I'm talking about whatever I'm doing, technology or advertising, and I see kind of their eyes light up. And I'm just gonna kind of go back to that quote from the fish that ate the whale. Like, there's no problem you can't solve if you know your business from A to Z. So there's some things we all have to outsource, obviously, like a CEO mindset, but there's some things that I will not outsource, and that's advertising. And really just get as many books as you can about advertising and marketing and chew through them, and watch some YouTube videos about Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and just really take that into your own hands, because you can control the success of your business rather than paying some third party that might be running targeted ads, but they've never done it for real estate before. And you're just getting kind of cut and paste things without some things that are really important in your advertising, like a headline's 80% of it. But that's what I would recommend, like take advertising and marketing into your own hands, and don't ship or do anything without your approval.
What about lessons learned? I feel like there's a lot of nuggets in this already, by the way, but like what are your greatest lessons you think you've learned while
So I think the best lesson that I've been taught in the business, when I was first licensed, I interviewed with like 6 different brokerages, and there was a veteran agent at a Remax office. I didn't ultimately decide to sign with them when I was a brand new agent, but she told me in the very beginning, like, I think I can tell that you're going to be very successful. So that was encouraging. But she said, your name is everything in this business. So like, if you're not treating your fellow agents correctly, like, word spreads really fast. And that kind of stuck with me from the beginning. And that's, what we've taught our agents is, like, regardless of their experience level, like, we treat everybody as if they're, $100 million agent, because they could be there someday, and you should just treat people the way you would want to be treated anyways.
I think that's great advice. And I love that for this is a Real Producers podcast. So thank you so much for that. 100%. What do you want to be remembered for?
Somebody that cared about other people's needs before my own. That's really the most important thing for me, both for my team, for my kids, my family. I put other people's needs before my own. And I think that's been kind of the secret sauce of being married and being with the same person for a long time. Is we bicker like every other couple, but ultimately when I wake up the next day, I'm like, okay, maybe I can ease off a little bit on this and just be a little bit more empathetic.
You guys are great yin and yang. Like I enjoy talking to you guys. Well, the July issue, if y'all haven't checked it out, make sure you do. And Dustin, always a pleasure to talk to you. Honored to have you on, and thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for all you do.